So let's kick it off with Janice Sherwood coming from Fight ALD.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to paradise as soon as the sun comes out. And thank you, ALD Connect, for inviting me to open up the meetings today. I did want to point out a couple things if you guys are available to get out and visit some of the sites. There's a shuttle that they probably told you about that can take you to Balboa Park, which I highly recommend. And there's also some areas that you can just walk to. The Midway Museum is right up the street here, and right behind me is the base or the waterfront park. And it's about a 3-acre park with lots of water features and playgrounds and things. So it's a very nice area to visit. I guess I'll start with anybody who doesn't know who I am. I am the founder of Fight ALD. I lost my 8-year-old son 6 months after diagnosis, unfortunately, back in 2003. And actually, he would have been turning 22 today. So this is a great honor in his memory to be here. I started my foundation to spread awareness about ALD because it seemed like so many of the doctors that I took him to for help did not know what ALD was, let alone know what any treatments were available. And after going to medical conferences for about 5 years, I decided to hit the road in an RV. That RV. My husband and I started talking about how I could get the information directly to the children's hospitals because I kept hearing from families who were having the same story as mine, where they had an emergency, a medical emergency, either a grand mal seizure or an Addisonian crisis. And so we mapped out 215 children's hospitals, and this RV was donated to me, and a business donated all the decals. And the next thing you knew, I was driving off into the sunset. But after I was gone for the first week, I realized I was driving right past pediatric clinics and family practices. And so I went back home and went back to the drawing board and added all of those into the list with my 215 children's hospitals. And what started out as a 7-month trip ended up into a 5-year odyssey, and I visited over 3,200 medical facilities in all 48 states. So after spreading awareness for that length of time, I got back and was invited by Patty Chapman and the Mylan Project to help lobby for newborn screening in the state of California. So we did get that passed into law with an amendment on it that we couldn't begin screening until it was added to the RUSP. So then we started lobbying DC to get the Secretary of Health and her advisory committee to approve it. And we were successful at that on February 16th of this year. And we actually started screening last month, and we did save specimens of all the babies born since February 16th, so they will be screening all the backlog as well. And they expect to screen about 50 or identify about 50 to 55 babies a year. So if you average that out, that's about 1 a week. So it doesn't really seem all that rare when you put it into those kind of figures. So before I start talking about what our goals are today or what the meeting is going to be about, I kind of want to reflect on what we've done over the past year with ALD Connect. Our collaborative work with many ALD and AMN patient advocacy groups from around the world make up 4 separate work groups. This work has allowed them to continue to offer live webinars on many subjects. Some of these include information on patients who were newly diagnosed, newborn screening and implementation, helping carriers understand the role of genetics and their reproductive options, and supporting siblings through family medical illness. And for those who couldn't be on the webinars, these segments are also posted on the website along with other educational videos. These include segments on clinical trials, gene therapy, and stem cell transplantation. And a few months ago, Workgroup 4 started monthly conference calls for ALD moms and AMN men. I've been the moderator on the Moms Chat, and we have covered issues such as being caretakers, grieving the loss, and AMN symptoms. Most importantly, I think we have offered a platform for fellowship, support, and compassion. So any of you in this room that haven't been on these calls, please sign up because I think that you will get a lot out of them. This year's meetings, we're going to cover many important issues and help determine what our next steps are going to be. Today you'll hear about ALD Connect's Neurobank and patient portal and how this information is collected and used. We'll hear from the Industry Advisory Council. Work Group 3 will report on therapeutics, and Work Group 4 will update on their outreach and advocacy work. Tomorrow we will learn about clinical trials in ALD, disease and endocrine issues in management, and progress being made in ALD and AMN research. There will be presentations by an AMN male patient and myself as a female carrier and our experiences, and also the benefits of physical therapy and exercise for symptoms, and how to manage patient care and caregiver stress. And with that, I want to introduce Florian Eichler, but I wanted to mention that the first time I met him was at the ULF conference about 12 years ago. And 4 years ago, we sat around a table with about 12 of us talking about how we could form ALD Connect and what we could offer to the community and to the patients. So we've come a very long way in 4 short years. So here's Dr. Eichler.